Hello everybody. Imagine an American manufacturing company is interested in changing its entire manufacturing floor through a digital transformation project. And obviously, it is going to reach out to the Indian IT service provider, TCS, Wipro, HCL, Cognizant, all the familiar names. And each one of these companies, they send in their representatives, their employees to pitch in their services. And the interesting part is everybody is pitching the same thing. There is not too much of quality difference in terms of what any of these guys can offer different from one another. The quality is almost the same. With the advancements of the recent technologies, with the ways in which individuals are writing code, it's becoming easier to write efficient code. So all these guys are competing against each other just based on cost. That's it. And the guys who say that, hey, we will do it only with 2 to 3% profit margin, they are the ones who are going to win that project. And who is the person from TCS or Wipro or Infosys who is going and sitting in these conversations? The associate vice presidents or the senior sales managers or the senior delivery leaders. It is all good until these guys win the projects. But once they win the project, that is when the actual trouble begins. Why is that? Because they will go ahead, get the project for the company with 2 to 3% profit margin potentially only. But once it is here in the company, the CEO will say, hey, our profit margin target is 15 to 20%. How can we accept a project which is only 2 to 3%? Just not possible. So we need to cut down the delivery cost. And how do we do that? One, cut down all the people who are of high cost and get the work done by people who can be hired at a lower cost, probably freshers or somebody with lower experience level. And this entire exercise is done by the delivery manager and the associate vice presidents. A lot of associate vice presidents and these delivery managers are in their late 40s or early 50s in the IT services industry. And these guys are resigning right now. The reason is simple. They are saying our work is not exciting anymore. We are getting projects based on cost and we are going and firing even good people because of they are coming in with a high cost. So what is the fun in doing this? One of my cousin's friends who is in a senior AVP position at one of the IT services companies, of course I don't want to name the company, he recently quit his job, and the reason is because he's saying I'm having to deal with the people issues a lot more and I'm in an uncomfortable position all the time. The people I'm firing are actually great people, but my hands are tied, so I'll rather resign and I'll go do something else. Now you tell me, in 10 to 20 years time, most likely this is what you would be doing if you continue in the IT services space. You might say that, hey, I'll be just a people manager, but no, people manager roles are becoming redundant. Most of these roles are now being taken over by AI. So what would be the role that you would be doing? The same thing, going and selling projects and getting the work done. And it is very difficult to be happy doing this kind of job. And hence, the resignations. There is also another reason why folks in their 40s and 50s are becoming extremely uncomfortable. Number two, and that is you have to continue doing the same work that you know again and again and again. If you say that I want to do something different, something exciting, then you have to learn that skill. And the same skill can be learned by somebody who is fresh in their career as well. So why would the company say, hey, you are a high cost resource, but we'll let you do the same work that a fresher can do? It just doesn't make any sense from a company standpoint. So they can't push you into doing something new and exciting. You are good at something and you have to do that. That is why corporate efficiencies typically do not align with your job satisfaction. And if you have to grow in your career at a faster pace, you would typically be disappointed. And add on top of that, there is another issue. If some tool comes in the market and replaces your work, God forbid, and then it would be difficult to even find another role because the same tool is replacing the entire market. So there are pros when there is no tool, you can just continue to do your work and not many freshers can get the work done and you can demand a high salary. But all of a sudden, when you don't know any tool can enter into the market and can make your work redundant, that's when it becomes difficult to find other roles, right? Doing the same thing has both pros and also cons. The third reason is because client is the god, right? Have you heard anything different? Especially if you are in the services world, you will keep hearing this sentence from your delivery manager every single day. Oh my God, client is saying this. We have to do it. But the client is saying this. Why are we not doing that? The client might be wrong, but no, we can never say that. Can the God ever be wrong? This is the discussions that we get into. And if you are an AVP or if you are a senior manager in 10-20 years time, you will have to manage the delivery, get the delivery done at the lowest cost in the morning hours, and in the evening hours, you are talking to your client. So it's literally a day and night job. And your work-life balance, forget about it. It is only on the piece of paper. The work is relatively okay-ish with respect to client management in a captive, that is a global capability center, which is, let's say, an American company is setting up their own team in India. Over there, you are working for the same company. Let's say JP Morgan has set up their office in Hyderabad, and then you are working for JP Morgan itself. So you don't have any other external client. So the client is God concept is not too relevant for you as much, but still you have on-site, offshore leads. And this model, still there are some frictions, and the career growth prospects in this scenario are little more trickier. In all the scenarios that I have mentioned, career growth is still possible in your 40s and 50s. Please don't get me wrong. But there is one fundamental reason why majority of the folks don't push themselves too hard, because they have been doing that for 20-25 years, and you ask them to push again at 50, they are like, nope, I'm not doing it. Why should I continue to push? Didn't I earn that I need to take some time off and do what I want to do with my family? It's a very personal choice, but the unfortunate problem is people don't even think about these choices. I was in that position exactly 5 years back when I decided to quit my corporate job and move into the startup space. Well, startup is not too rosy. I don't want to give that impression as well, but at least I made that conscious choice so that I could move back, right? And leave a lot of that stress from the corporate world. The first and the most important thing is you need to at least start thinking, because this lack of motivation in the corporate world is a real thing. There are very few people who are okay with the cost that comes along with it and still continue to push in that direction. If you know the cost and if you are completely okay with the cost associated with pushing yourself in the corporate world until 50 or 60, fine, go ahead and do it. But if you are not okay with the cost that you have to pay for this life, then you need to sit and think about it. I'm not saying that, hey, something is good, something is bad, or this is the dark stuff, or there is something bright around here. That's not my point. My point is super straightforward. Take some time out, think with a fresh head, and do take that decision that you want to take. That will make your life much more meaningful, and all the efforts and all the hard work would be worthy. Thank you guys. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye bye.